Day internet people, it's Jess here again, back with the ill behaviour, and this time it's a Royal Paladin deck profile. So yeah, Royal Paladin, obviously Aichi Sendo's main clan, or only clan so far I guess in the reboot, and yeah, so we're going to go straight in with the deck profile. This is as of VBT01, the standard format only. Yeah, I should say this is a standard deck profile, not premium. And we'll go straight in. So the starter is Gleim, standard starter. When read upon, draw a card from the trial deck, and nothing unusual about that. We run 4 of Flash Shield Assault, the Perfect Guard. So obviously Perfect Guard, double their draw trigger these days. Much better really, because it just means that your grade 1s are pretty good. You're never going to ride a perf again on grade 1, so can't go wrong there. 4 pieces of Bringer of Good Luck Epona, generic crit trigger, and 4 pieces of Flogel, generic crit trigger. And to round off the trigger lineup, obviously we've got 4 Yggdrasil Maiden Elaines, the perfect, not perfect, it's too late in the day, heal trigger, there you go, that's the word. Grade 1 lineup, 1 Morgana. She's basically there just to make the numbers up. She's not too bad. She eats into the soul a little bit, so you don't really want to use her very often. But when she attacks a Vanguard, you can Soul Blast 1, and she gets +3 for, until the end of the battle for each grade that your Vanguard is. So if your Vanguard's on grade 3, she gets +9. If you're on grade 2, she gets +6. Pretty good. So yeah, she can swing on her own for a decent number, 17k if you're on grade 3. Worst case scenario, she's there as a nice little swing. Generally she's just there to make the numbers up, to be honest. 4 Little Sage Marin, Aichi's old favourite card, slightly renewed, so it's got a 10k shield, 8k base power as it always used to have, and it's got a once per turn auto ability. When your other rear guard is placed in the same column as this unit, you can counterblast 1, draw a card, and this unit gets +3000 until the end of turn. So he becomes an 11k booster, and you get a card in hand when you called another unit into the same column as this. So pretty good. Keeps your hand size up, stops you from kind of rinsing your hand too early, and just generally pretty useful to leave on the back row, to be honest. So can't go wrong with him at all. Also, we only run 3 of these. Apparently we run 3 of these. Knight Squire Allen from the trial deck. So he's, when placed, counterblast 1, call it to 1 card with a grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from your hand to the rear guard. If you called, draw a card, and he gets +3 until the end of turn. So it's very similar to Marin, but this, unlike Marin, you play this guy first, then counterblast, then call a card and draw. So still pretty good though. Nice one to have early game. It helps you kind of fill the field, particularly if you're going for the Blaster Blade crit. This guy can help you fill the field without it kind of hurting your hand too much. If you call this guy and go into Akane and you've got the counterblast for it, then you're sorted. Rounding off the grade 1s, we run 4 Pongal. Pongal has a when placed skill. If you have another unit in the same column as this unit, you can counter charge 1. Soul charge 1. Here's me getting the terminology wrong already. Soul charge 1. If the card soul charged is a trigger, this unit gets +5000 until the end of turn. So it takes the bite out of soul charging a trigger a little bit, so that's pretty good. And basically that's your engine for powering up Soul Saver Dragon. So you want these guys on the field, filling the soul as soon as you can. 1 Conjurer of Mithril. Just the one because it's a soul blasting card again, so you don't want to kind of fill the deck with these. But he's a 9k. When placed on the rear guard from hand, counterblast 1, soul blast 1. Search your deck for a grade 2 card, call it to the rear guard, and shuffle your deck. If you've got 2 counterblast, again you can counterblast and get yourself an Akane with this, and end up with a net positive on the field, and your soul doesn't really suffer from it because you're going to superior call a Pongal and get the soul blast that you took for this back. So yeah, he's alright. You don't want to run a lot of these, not in a current build with Soul Saver anyway, because it's going to eat too much into that soul if you do. So we run 3 Sage of the Arts Jaron. he's pretty good. He's kind of like the equivalent of Dragon Armoured Knight. So when he attacks a Vanguard, if you have 3 or more rear guards, this unit gets plus 5,000 until the end of that battle. Very easy, 15k. Chances are he'll be swinging for 15 anytime he swings at a Vanguard. And he's a 5k shield, so no point keeping him in hand. Throw him down, let him attack. 4. High Dog Breeder Akane. So she is beastly, she works on the Vanguard and Rearguard. When she's placed, you can counterblast 1, search for a Pongal, call it to the Rearguard, and shuffle your deck. Also on the Vanguard and Rearguard, during the battle she's boosted by a High Beast, she gets plus 3k, so if you've got a Pongal behind, she's going to be swinging for 21k, or 26 if Pongal managed to soul charge or trigger. So pretty good. That's kind of like your ideal ride target for grade 2 if you've got a counterblast and you're planning on soul savering. So yep, that's her, and she's pretty cool. And Boku no Bunshin, it's the old Blaster Blade. Well, the new Blaster Blade would be more accurate. So we've got 2 of each artwork there. And he's got, if you have 4 or more rear guards, this unit gets crits plus 1 when he's on the Vanguard circle only. And his other skill is on Vanguard and Rearguard. When he's placed, you can counterblast 1, soul blast 1, choose one of your opponent's rearguards in the front row, and retire it. Now, again, generally you don't really want to do that. You want the soul, so he tends to just be a vanilla. But it's a vanilla that gains power when he's called a lot of the time, depending on how you've called him. And he powers up other cards, or one other card, for being on the field. So he's worth running. Maybe you could get away with less than 4, I guess, but we run 4. So the first card that benefits from it in the grade 3s is Alfred early. He's got the Force Gift, he's the trial deck card. We only run 1 of these, but when placed you can counterblast 1, call a Blaster Blade from the hand or the soul to the rear guard. That unit gets plus 10,000 until the end of that turn, and if you called, draw a card, which is pretty cool. So you can't go wrong with giving a Blaster Blade plus 10, draw your card, and yeah, it's plus 1 if you call it from the soul. Can't go wrong at all. So, but you'd only really need 1 in this particular build. We've got 4 King of Knights Alfreds. So King of Knights is kind of like the main Alfred for the deck. So he's got an activated ability once per turn, counterblast 1, search for a Blaster Blade from the deck, call it to rearguard, give that unit plus 5,000 and shuffle your deck. And then this guy on the Vanguard circle, if you've got a Blaster Blade on a rearguard, he gets plus 10k, so he's at 23k essentially when he swings. So it doesn't really go up beyond 23k, only with your boosters and your triggers, so he's not exactly your Dragonic Waterfall or anything, but 23k is a fairly solid effect, and your Blaster Blade's gone up in power, so he's alright to kind of sit on. He's a steady, reliable source of power, but not much beyond that. For your winning image for this particular deck, you're looking at Soul Save a Dragon. A card that was originally in BT02 during the original run. Soul Save a Dragon is a little bit more powerful than it used to be. So it's got an activated ability on the Vanguard circle. You can Soul Blast 5, and 6 of your units, that basically includes itself, get plus 15,000 until the end of turn. So plus 30k to each column, assuming you've got 6 units on the field at the time. And when he attacks, you may soul charge 1, so you do that before you do your twin drive. So yeah, your ultimate goal with this guy is basically just to have a full field, knock plus 15k onto everything, and hope your opponent can't guard it. There's no guard restriction, there's no crit generation, so if you don't pull any crit triggers, you're only ever going to do 3 damage during that particular turn, which kind of balances out the ridiculous power across the field, I suppose. Yeah. He's, again, reliable. He's kind of almost like a jack-of-all-trades things. Power goes everywhere, and it doesn't put the pressure in any one specific point. It just tries to wear your opponent down through the sheer teamwork of your field, which makes sense, I guess, for the Royal Paladins. And that's basically your game winner card for this deck. So you might be wondering, what do you do with your Force tokens? Well, in this particular deck, you haven't got like a Vanguard that's got a ridiculous I'm going to win now scenario of its own. So you can kind of just spread your Force counters out a bit. Generally, I'll work from the Vanguard and then go Rearguard, Vanguard, rearguard, sort of just spread it around evenly really. If you've got one on each kind of column, that plus 30k when you do this is essentially plus 40k to each column, so you're going to be having 70k columns ish on 3 different rows or 3 different columns. So yeah, you can hit the numbers. It's going to force your opponent to either no guard at some point or just throw down every perfect guard they've got, and if you're lucky you might even get to do it 2 times in a row, whether that's on the same turn or on 2 consecutive turns. I would not recommend doing it all in one turn, because if they've got 3 perfect guards, you've just blown your wad and not got much return for it, to be honest. So yeah, that's Soul Saver Dragon. So hope you enjoyed this quick little deck profile video. Look out for battles with this deck in action, and hopefully I'll be able to get Lena to record her Oracle Think Tank deck profile soon as well. So thanks for watching, internet people. We'll see you again soon. Bye!